Oke, akan mulai. Yeah, good morning, everybody, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the Zoom room. Actually, this Zoom room is one of the discussion space in the at this international conference on indigenous religion, annual conference. Yeah. Today we will discuss about spiritual wisdom, ancestral practices, and environmental ethic as part of we call it Socratic rituals. We have to speak here in our room. Rumaiza Abu Bakar from Malaysia and Fena Humairo from East Java, but Fena will absent today. So maybe today we will only we have only one speaker, Rumaiza Abu Bakar. So the time is yours, all the time of discussion. Rumaiza will present a papers talk about eco-spirituality and indigenous Muslim stewardship of Mother Earth. This is like a preliminary research, right?
Yes, initial research.
Yeah. So yeah, we only have actually an hour and a half to discuss, and yeah, after the speaker have presented the papers, we will come to the question and answer session. Yeah, so Rumaiza, yeah, please, the time is yours. Present your paper.
Thank you very much. I shall present my paper in English. However, the question and answer session can be held in both languages, English and Bahasa Indonesia. The title of my paper is Eco-Spirituality and Indigenous Muslim Stewardship of Mother Earth. Environmental harm, resource extraction, and Islamic religious uniformity are displacing indigenous Muslim communities in Indonesia. These combined factors threaten their sacred ancestral lands, ecological wisdom, and religious traditions and rituals. Hence, there is a need for ecocracy and crucial response to this growing crisis. Indigenous Muslims strive to exercise their conservation agency and assert their belief and resilience. They also preserve their ties to nature, as well as articulate Islamic ethics in their practice. So I shall start with the indigenous ecocentric worldview. According to indigenous religions paradigm, personhood includes humans and non-human persons. Many indigenous communities conceptualize nature through non-human personhood. This means that they recognize forests, rivers, seas, mountains, and land as living beings with agency and rights. Indigenous believers see human and non-human beings as interdependent creatures. So people have intersubjective relationship with their environment. They protect and preserve other creations because they believe the other creations also nourish and shelter them in return. This worldview fosters ecological ethics rooted in reciprocity, responsibility, and relational existence. Next, we look at the Islamic environmental sustainability approach. According to the Islamic approach, okay, it focuses on the core principle of Tawhid, which affirms the interconnection between the divine, humanity, and nature. This principle provides a foundation for the unity of all creations under one creator. It aligns with indigenous ecological practices and reflects the rights of all creations. So this matches, the Islamic approach and the indigenous approach. There is a match here. All creations submit and surrender to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And this fosters social cohesion and a sense of purpose based on the divine's guidance. And the second principle here is Khalifah. Human basically vicegerent of Earth. They are entrusted with care of the planet. So they are prohibited from domination and destruction of the environment. And they have to balance the rights of all creations. Yeah, it's not just about the rights of humans, but the rights of all creations. And this is actually different from the Anthropocene outlook, which focuses only on the human's superiority. And the second principle is amanah. Okay, the third principle, is amanah. It basically highlight the environmental responsibility as a sacred trust from God. And last but not least is tasbih, the concept of tasbih, where all creations glorify Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And this shows an overall ecological consciousness among all beings. Therefore, these key values correspond to the higher objective of Maqasid al-Sharia, the Islamic law, where environmental sustainability itself safeguards human survival and well-being, intellectual development, continuity of future generations, natural resources, and the Muslim overall religious obligations. So environmental care is key to make sure that everything else is well taken care of. So this is, we are looking at the indigenous and Islamic ecosystemic knowledge, okay, together. The Islamic and indigenous ecosystemic knowledge systems have been widely studied. However, they are studied in isolation as two separate domains, not together, And then on the other hand, little attention has been paid to the conservation ethics of indigenous Muslim. Furthermore, their beliefs have been reduced to syncretic and cultural, and they are vulnerable to modernization and Muslim reformation efforts. Therefore, this paper intends to highlight indigenous Muslim ecology, which was derived from the synthesis of indigenous cosmologies and Islamic theology practice. Both Tawhidic principles and indigenous ecological wisdom are embraced. This shapes their comprehensive environmental ethics. It is very comprehensive because it covers both the Islamic side and the indigenous side. They uphold the governance model where moral authority includes all beings and nature is considered kin and not a commodity. And their authentic, localized expressions of Tawhid calls for the recognition beyond their syncretic and cultural Islam labels. So they should be recognized, because this is the indigenous manifestation of Islamic monotheism. So they should be recognized on their own merit. I shall elaborate the indigenous Muslim eco-spirituality concept further on this slide. Basically, it describes how indigenous Muslim communities use rituals and customs to steward land and sea. It portrays a way of relating to the earth that is spiritually anchored and ecologically conscious. It is holistic and comprehensive as it bridges theology, ecology, and indigenous traditions. So it is very, very wide, it is very comprehensive and very well integrated. And moving forward, okay, it aspires towards a multi-community framework that unites diverse indigenous environmental expressions. It offers an alternative model for global environmental ethics, resilience, and indigenous recognition. It promotes a sustainable environmental discourse by integrating belief, tradition, and lived practices. And next, we shall look at the examples of 3 indigenous Muslim communities to help illustrate this concept, this overall ecological concept. So the first is Watu Telu community in Lombok. Watu Telu, they are known as a guardian of Guminina. Guminina means Mother Earth. Yeah, so they care for the earth with the gentle touch of a woman. And they believe in the creator, the one God who populates the planet with his creations through 3 sources of lives. Firstly is mengana, which is giving birth, for example, in humans, mammals, And secondly is menteluk, laying eggs, as seen in some animals like birds and chicken. And third is mentiuk, planting seeds, which is seen, trees, plants, agriculture, and all these 3 elements make up the name of Watu Telu. Watu means comes, and Telu means tree. So Watu Telu means comes in tree, referring to these 3 sources. And the Watu Telu people, they emphasize customary rights, stewardship, and trust. They have the hutan adat, the customary forests, which they care. And these are managed by the Lembaga Adat, the customary institution with localized and deep-rooted sustainable forest management systems. There are also forest guards, the Perumba and Penganding, who live in the forest and remain in the forest. And they also have their own law. Awik regulations are established for forest management, and they emphasize the respectful behavior, to maintain the entire ecosystem. So it creates a harmonious relationship between humans and nature. And they have rituals, environmental related rituals. For example, Tek Laut Tek Daya, which is a prayer to seek prosperity and safety from all disasters. So they pray to the Almighty God, to basically accord them with safety, and prosperity. And another example is Selamat Olor, which is a ceremony held before planting and before they start working on the land. And they also take care of the water resources. Spring water in the forest is managed through the 2 adat roles of Inan Aik and Pekasih. Inan Aik carries out rituals at water sources, while Pekasih administers water to farmers' rice fields, which they do evenly and fairly so that everybody get a fair share. So this is Watu Telu. Another example that I would like to compare to is the Amatua Kajang, who are known as the protector of the forest because they see the forest as the source of life. They basically have Patuntung. They follow the Patuntung belief system. And they have Pasang Ri Kajang, which is their oral law, which depict the divine message. And they divide their forests into 2 categories, the inner territory and the outer territory. So the inner territory, the Borong Karama, the powerful forest, is community owned. And they have prohibitions. Like for example, you cannot cut a tree, you cannot dig the soil, and you cannot hunt for animals in this particular forest. And they also have the outer territory, which is divided into 2 categories. The first layer, there is basically they allow a limited amount of forest harvesting with strict conditions and of course with the permission of the leader. And this forest is still community owned. And the second layer is for their own livelihood, where individuals are free to do farming and gardening for their needs. And similar to Watu Telu, they also have environmental related rituals. Like for example, Andingini ritual. This ritual specifically aims to cool the earth. Okay, it calls for the rain, to cool the earth, to maintain the balance of nature and protect all living things from natural disasters. So they pray, similar to Watutelu, they pray for safety and blessings in managing natural resources. And the ritual can bring rain, because it's a cool the earth ritual. So the ritual can bring rain to irrigate the community's agricultural land, which will help in optimal harvest. And they also benefit from the forest in terms of healing. So this is where the mutual nurturing comes in, because they take care of the forest so that the forest will provide for them. And they use various plants for physical and spiritual treatments. So it helps with healing. And the last but not least comparison is with the Bajau Laut, who are the steward of the sea. They basically take care of the sea and they support marine biodiversity. They see the sea as the source of sustenance, well-being, healing, and protection. So, for example, in terms of sustenance from the sea, they do sustainable fishing according to their traditional method. They identify the fishing grounds. They don't just simply fish. They identify the grounds. They observe their own taboos, and then they time their sea expeditions accordingly. And they also have their own fishing equipment. It may be simple, but it prevents them from catching baby fish. So this is part of their fish conservation method. And while the fishermen are at sea, okay, their family will also need to observe several prohibition. For example, they cannot pollute the sea, they cannot throw rubbish in the sea, and they have to preserve the coral reef, and also they're not allowed to kill or eat turtles. So these are some of the prohibitions while the fishermen are at sea, and they are one with the sea. They have a deep connection and they understand natural science and phenomena. So similar to the other two indigenous communities, they also show their gratitude to God for harvest. In their case, it's a sea harvest. They do prayer and they release fish seeds. And they also feed the marine fish, and they nurture nature. They take care of sea. So that's why they're known as the steward of the sea. So to sum up my presentation, okay, so I will close with the knowledge contribution of indigenous Muslim ecology. Firstly, it shows ecological kinship through adat, ritual authority, and cosmological parameters. It's very comprehensive. Okay, they integrate everything in their wisdom, in their ecological wisdom. So they cover their belief, their tradition, and life experiences, and they capture basically this concept. It will help to capture the diverse indigenous manifestations of Tawhid and depicts Khalifah, Amanah, and Tasbih in lived practices. So not just in terms of theory, but in how it materialized in the indigenous Muslim communities. Hence, okay, it strengthens the indigenous Muslim identity and offers pluralistic solutions within broader ecological debates. This is an initial concept, initial paper, which I think is open to more discussion, and I hope it will lead to more detailed research on ecological practices in indigenous Muslims. Thank you very much. This is the end of my presentation.
Yeah, yeah, thank you very much, Maiza. Yeah, it's
Welcome.
yeah. Okay, wait. Okay, so Yeah, because the next speaker couldn't join, so Humaira couldn't join in this morning. So yeah, we can move to the question and answer session. So if there are any question from the fourth speaker, the question or discussion can use bahasa Indonesia, it's okay, no
Yes.
problem. Uh, ya, silahkan. If there are any question, this is interesting. How we can similarity, maybe not similarity, the relation between Tauhid as a principle Islam interpret by Muslim indigenous Muslim in yeah in diversity they articulate another kind of the interpretation of Tauhid, how to keeping the ayat. Ya, silakan kalau ada pertanyaan. Ya, okay, please, Carlinda. Yeah, turn on your speaker, your mic.
Okay, all right. Good morning, everyone. Pagi, Kak Asweb. Pagi, Kak Rumaiza.
Pagi.
I'm going to ask this question in English. So, I'm quite curious of the local government's involvement in helping these indigenous culture grow in places Kak Rumaiza have mentioned previously. Are they quite involved, or do they let the people just um do their indigenous culture work like separately without government's involvement, the local government's involvement? Thank you.
Welcome. The government is very much involved, yeah, from what I could see during my field work in Kecamatan Bayan, because they have close relationship, yeah, they have close relationship, and they try to basically learn, yeah, they will learn from each other, and they have like they have like visits, yeah, visits, activities with the government of officials to basically help them in preserving their adat, in carrying out their adat. So I think it is, a positive relationship. And of course, it varies, yeah, from community to community. But overall, I think there is like a growing awareness, and acceptance of indigenous Muslim, yeah, of indigenous Muslim, yeah, not just as an effort to streamline their practices with the mainstream Islam, okay, but to recognize their practices. So this is the reason why I started this paper, so that there will be more take on this topic, and we can see where this is heading, and which area would need more help for further policy formulation, for further assistance from the authorities.
Okay. Yeah, thank you. Okay, this is can I answer your question, Carlinda?
Yes.
My question has been answered. Thank you so much.
Welcome.
Welcome. Yeah, this is interesting topic. Yeah, I also have one question.
Sila,
Yeah,
sila.
there's in some rituals, which is practiced by the community. Yeah, but how? Yeah, probably you can um, divine and you can answer. Uh, how do they perceive or define the ritual in in the paradigm, Muslim ecological paradigm? How they divine their ritual? Is a ritual uh, like mostly people said that is or worshiping or another kind of the practice.
Yeah, basically they have different categories of rituals. Generally it's life for the life cycle and also for the cycle of death. Yeah, generally it's like that. Okay, and of course this will cover the environment, yeah, which is a big part of life. This will cover the environment. The way that this is defined, yeah, like under Tauhid, yeah, the way this is defined, this is how they basically implement or show, yeah, their relationship with God. This is how they show their relationship with God. Yeah, so rituals is a way for them to express their gratitude to the Almighty God. This is their way to express themselves. Um, so like for example, yeah, like Islam, yeah, for the Muslim community, okay, the concept of Tauhid, yeah, is also is the same. Yeah, believe in the one creator, and also believe in the rights of all creations. Yeah, believe in the rights of all creation. So the main concept is the same, but it's the way they execute that is different. Because they have their own expression, they have their own creative and innovative ways of expressing themselves and showing their gratitude to God. Does that answer your question?
Yeah, so it's mean like there are different principle or categories between ritual for nature and like worshiping of God. Different, right?
Yeah,
Different
they
meaning, maybe
yeah.
different friendship, different meaning, like that, yeah.
Yes, they are basically they are more colorful. They are more colorful in expressing themselves. You know, it is more interesting. It's more interesting and colorful. It is very diverse. So again, this support the concept of diversity among Muslims. Yeah, Muslims should not be streamlined to you know to be similar to each other. You know, they all have they come with their own culture and their own background. So this it differs not just within the different communities in the country, but also between different countries. So this is how we showcase the diversity of Muslims.
Yeah. Yeah, okay, interesting. Yeah, okay, so are there any more questions maybe from the others? Other participant? Oke, ada pertanyaan lain, teman-teman? Menarik. mana implementasi dari prinsip-prinsip Islam, tauhid, khalifah diartikulasikan dalam praktik yang berbeda di beberapa tempat, tapi punya akar yang sama ya. Oke, oke. Oke, ini another question. Oke.
Mungkin ada
Jika
yang bisa berbagi pengalaman ya Mas, kalau yang sudah pernah ke masyarakat adat ya. Mungkin ada yang dari audiens ya yang bisa berbagi pengalaman.
ya boleh ada yang ingin menambahkan, memberikan eh, informasi baru, mungkin tambahan karena paper ini eh, bagian dari ya preliminary research, jadi saya kira masih terbuka untuk masukan informasi tambahan mungkin. Silakan teman-teman. Oke. Kalau tidak ada, eh, ya mungkin bisa kita cukupkan.
Ya.
Oke.
Mang Asep, itu tadi
Ya,
kan ada yang baru bergabung atas nama Zoom Vian. Vian. Apakah
eh,
itu Kak Vena Kumairo atau bukan ya? Siapa tahu itu narasumber
oke.
present. Mungkin bisa disapa.
Iya, baik. Ini Kak atau Mbak atau Mas Fiat, boleh memperkenalkan diri kali.
Mohon maaf Pak, ini bukan.
Oh, bukan. Oke,
Ya,
oke, oke. Baik, tidak apa-apa. Barangkali mau bertanya atau menambah informasi?
Insya Allah udah cukup. Soalnya saya juga ya apa namanya kebetulan waktu S1 itu bahas tentang krisis lingkungan dalam perspektif ekologi spiritual. Jadi pengen
Hmm,
wawasan dari perspektif yang baru. Jadi alhamdulillah tadi beberapa sudut pandang itu sudah ditambahkan. I think it's enough.
Ya, mungkin
oke.
mungkin lebih banyak komunitas nanti ya bisa diteliti ya dengan
Iya.
lebih mendalam.
Ya, terima kasih. Oke, so congratulations, Kak Rumaiza, of your presentation today. Uh, I think I don't need to summarize this discussion because of the broader discussion. Uh, I do believe also, yeah, our discussion today can like spark other studies in similar topic, so that the discuss on this topic can continue to grow and speed. Ya, oke, sebelum kita tutup, bisakah teman-teman open cam untuk kita berfoto bersama di sesi ini? Ya, biar kelihatan. Nah, ini dia. Oke, baik. Mas Bima, you can take our picture.
Oke,
Bisa dihitung.
siap. Teman-teman, saya ambil screenshot. 1, 2, 3. Nah, 1, 2, 3. Oke, kalau mau ganti gaya atau ada
Oke.
1, 2. Mlati. Siap. Oke, sudah, Mas Asep, silakan.
Ya, oke, terima kasih. Oke,
Terima
thank you.
kasih.
I think that's enough for now. Thank you for all your presence, Ibu, Bapak, ladies and gentlemen. So, yeah, I close this morning discussion today.
Terima kasih semua.
Terima kasih.
Terima
Semoga
kasih.
lancar, Kak
Ya,
Rumaiza, rencana studinya.
terima kasih sama-sama Mas
Ya,
juga.
siapa tahu bisa jumpa di Indonesia.
Insya Allah.
Ya, oke, terima kasih. Saya mohon izin